that said it's recording. There we go. Got it. It's YouTube, baby. But did that pop up on your end really quick? Or did it finally?
Huge delay.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, I was just waiting and like we were both looking. So I didn't know if like it had popped up on yours or how that was going. But the NBA playoffs have started. And since we both desperately want to be a NBA a sports podcast so badly, I was like, oh, let's roll it back to our over unders that we made at the beginning of the season and see how bad we did. So we didn't do the whole kit and caboodle. We did just the Bucks, the Celtics, Nuggets, Pacers, Lakers, Spurs, Utah, Dallas, Heat, Knicks, Suns, and Sixers. How many did you think you got? How many do you think I got?
I'm gonna say all but 3.
We did very bad. I'm gonna say we did equally bad because we both got 5 right.
Ooh.
So I got the Bucks right. I said under, you said over, homer pick. And and so yeah, they were at 53 and a half. I think that they ended up being like 40 something, like 47 with the record. Celtics, we were both like, huh, these oh wait, you said over. So you did get the Celtics, man. So you
Nice.
actually got one more than me.
I'm just
So
more knowledgeable, that's all.
there you go, man. Celtics were 54 and a half. And I'm like, Kristaps Porzingis isn't going to stay healthy. The Celtics, never amount to anything really. Like they'll be fine. They'll get second, at least the second seed. And you're like, no, Tatum's the GOAT. I love Jason Tatum so much. He's going to carry him. So
I I
apparently
don't know if those were the exact words.
I thought it was, but I could be wrong. Denver 52 and a half, and we both went on the under on that. So, so I messed up. So yeah, we both got it wrong on the Denver, but I was misreading when I was looking. And so you're back to 5. Sorry, bud. If
Mm,
you because we both are like, they got a little bit worse and they're not gonna try, but they still like fucking Jokic just like threw it over his head enough times to get,
switch.
yeah. Denver, we were both over on, or Pacers, we were both over on them. We were both right. Lakers, we were both under. And this one pissed me off because the Lakers over under was 46 and a half. Do you want to know what their record was? Because I checked before we got on here and I'm like,
47.
exactly.
Yeah.
Spurs, this was like a big one where we were both like, over. Wimby is gonna fucking deliver them to the promised land. They're probably gonna even make the play in. And then they were both under. I don't know how much it was. I just didn't want to look because I didn't feel like being depressed. Then Utah, I said under. It was a 35 and a half. You said over. And I don't know what they were, but it was under. Dallas, we were both like Kyrie and Luca, that's not gonna work. And then turns out it did because they went over. I was under. I was like, they're not gonna try, and they didn't, but they still beat the over on that. And then the Knicks, which is stupid of us for not choosing the Knicks. I do regret that one because it was like Tom Thibodeau is gonna just make you play all fucking 50 minutes just to get a win against fucking the Charlotte Hornets. So it's like, yeah, they should be over, but we both went under. Suns, we were both under, both right. And the 76ers, we were both like, nah, Joel Embiid's probably gonna get hurt. And then sure enough, we were right. So yeah, we both got 5. I don't let We'll wait on the NBA awards because they're not in yet. The votes aren't tallied. But and then our finals predictions: Bucks versus Grizzlies. That's what you thought. Don't think it's gonna happen. Bucks could still
Grizzlies
do
could
it.
still make it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I just remembered the Grizzlies have the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
Game 7 of the finals, they're gonna come in, cash it in, and fucking
Take it
make
all.
Doc Rivers, choke away. He's like, I didn't even know this was possible. And I said Pelicans Bucks, but we both had Bucks winning in like 6. So, My opinions on that has changed once Doc Rivers became coach, though.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, man. That's fair enough.
Okay, so I just figure each time like we'll just do like the first rounds on both sides, and then next, and we'll give like our point, like however many games we think whoever's gonna win is gonna win, and then next round we can see how wrong we were, and then do it just each time because it's fun. But
Sure.
Boston, Miami, what do you think?
I'm gonna say Boston in 4.
I'm gonna say probably Boston in 6. I don't have like any faith in Steven Silas as a coach, and Eric Spoelstra's a good coach. And if Jimmy Butler actually fucking comes back, it could be something.
Yeah.
But I don't see them winning. Okay, and then Cavs versus Magic. I'll take this one to start, and I'm gonna say Cavs in 5.
I'll say Cavs in 6.
All right.
I gotta believe in my boy Donnie.
Yeah. And it's like this is the problem with like the Magic and then the Pacers too. Is like, the Cavs problem last year. It's just like, man, lights got really bright, for the Cavs last year, but they've been there, so I think they might be fine for the first round anyway. Pacers, Bucks, you want to go first? Because we are going to disagree on this one.
Bucks in 6.
I'm going to say, I think the Bucks could take it in 7, but I'm going to say Pacers in 6, but that's the only way that they can actually, I don't think they can close out on an away game. So they'd have to do it in 6.
Mhm.
And then Knicks and Sixers. Prior, I was like, Sixers have got this. But I'm leaning towards Knicks. Knicks will lose, I think, burn out in the second round because, again, Thibodeau. But they're going to look good this round, I think. So I'm saying 5.
Can we have the same guess?
Yeah, man.
Because that's where my head was at. But
Right on.
also, I just want that because I do not like the Sixers.
Now, would you be okay with the Sixers if Embiid wasn't on it? Because he's
Yeah.
like the worst part. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But it's hard
Okay.
to root for a team when he's the star player.
Yeah. All right, so OKC versus Pels. What do you got? Man, that game, I didn't get to watch it, but that was like such a shit show, it sounds like.
Hmm. Here's my question because I haven't heard. Is Zion gonna be back?
I haven't heard either. I'm hoping. Like that's where my guess is coming from.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say Thunder in 6.
Yeah, I'm saying the same, but for the Pels. Clips, Mavs.
I think it's gonna be a damn good series.
Hmm.
Clips in 6.
Okay, so for me, I am gonna say we're gonna get some fucking Luka Magic and Mavs in 7, even though I'm rooting for the Clippers. Wolves, Suns.
Ugh, I want the Timberwolves to win, but I don't think they will. I'm gonna say Suns in 7.
I'm going Suns in 5 because I have a feeling it's gonna be what's known as I think it's a douchebag sweep, where the one team loses the first round and then they win 4 in a row.
Hmm.
And then Nugs, Lakers.
Nugs in 5.
Yep, that's where I'm at too. I think it's gonna be a gentleman's sweep. They get to the last game and they're like, we'll give you this one. We want to win on our home court.
Yeah.
So this will be fun. We only really disagreed on, there's 2 or 3. So we'll see how that goes.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's gonna be like the fucking over under. It's like, oh, you got them all wrong. Okay.
I
Like
hope
I
I
don't know
don't get them
how
all wrong.
It's like I don't know how we both got Pacers and Bucks wrong. Like out of nowhere, the fucking
The Grizzlies show up with
yeah, the
the
Grizzlies just
money.
showed up and they're like, "Oh, we got the money in the bank, and we're now an Eastern Conference team because that makes more sense anyway."
It really does.
Yeah. Well, so the Pels should be too. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right. On to the regular stuff. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Deadpool to my Wolverine. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
Hey, I'm just ready for another good episode.
Hell yeah, man. I think everyone is.
Yeah, why not?
Let us know down below. Are you ready for a good episode? Or you're like, I want a shitty one.
I'm tired of good ones.
Yeah, you guys can't be on all the time. The
Yeah,
joke's on.
that's how I feel. We're on all the time.
The joke's on you guys, because we're gonna be fucking killing it again.
If any of you listeners are also fans of the NBA and would like to hear not only our early season predictions and where we came on the over-under on those predictions, and if you'd like to hear our first round bracket predictions, you can find all that out over on the YouTube channel. Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
And let us know your predictions if you got any. Or maybe you're a hockey fan, brother. That's a specific shout out to my brother. Let us know your hockey predictions and see if they match our NBA ones. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to.
Yeah. We just like sports.
We like sports and we don't care who knows.
Who does Nick root for?
He is a Blues fan.
Ah, sorry, Nick.
I think
But
he's used to it.
sorry for us too, because the Penguins sure aren't going to make it. All right. We actually didn't have any comments this week.
Well, Nick left one, I thought.
I don't think so. I'll check again. Whenever I just checked, all I got the notification for was yours.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I saw one on the video whenever I was on there. But really quick, I got a question. I've been watching the Grand Tour, the Top Gear that's not Top Gear,
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm literally like the third episode in. And on the second episode, he had a Aston Martin supercar that was like 1.4 million pounds, and it's not street legal. And like you're like more of a car head than me. What the hell is the point of a car that's that expensive that's not street legal?
That's what's called fuck you money.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's just to say that you do.
That's what you get when you own your own comic shop, huh?
Yeah, if only. So here's the thing. It's saying 2 comments on this video, but only showing yours. I cannot see
I
it.
gotcha. Maybe he blocked you. He's like, fucking Jake.
If he blocked, no, I'm looking on the Two Worlds Pod
Oh, okay.
account. So did he block us?
That'd be funny. Okay. Oh yeah, it's not popping up on mine anymore either. It did at one time. That's weird. Oh, there we go. I instead of top, I hit newest, and then that popped up. So I'll read it. He goes, "Everybody, check out Super 7. Their stuff is amazing." And he's like, "Nobody noticed. Everyone at my wedding's Fantastic Four was made up of evil or evil adjacent characters because weddings are how you punish your friends and family for letting you get married." So says the divorce guy. And then he says, "For my Fantastic Four, I think Darkseid's birthday might be a bad time. I don't really know why. Just doesn't seem like a party animal to me." I mean, he might have some fun things, but you probably wouldn't want to be there because you're going to be the one getting tortured.
True.
Well, I like him. I imagine Swamp Things might suck, like probably be outside, but you wouldn't have a bonfire for threat of forest fires. And then I'm not sure what you'd have to eat, like unless you can photosynthesize. Are you going to go hungry? Like, would you eat vegan or would that be offensive? I think you have to eat out of the red category, like
It's carnivore only.
yeah, it's like, yeah, no, you're gonna be that guy that's like eating, like, you got your baggy like liver and bull testicles that you're just popping away.
Go Liver
Like,
King route.
hell yeah. But I think probably the worst would be, oh, Atrocitus might be a bad time, although he could have like a rage room, but even then, everybody he'd invite, would probably take it way too far.
I like that idea though.
Yeah,
Atrocitus at a rage room. That's good.
yeah. But I think probably the worst would be Damian Wayne. Now I'm biased because I don't care for the little shit. But one, he has rich parents, so what could you get him that he doesn't already have? Two, he has zero chill and would straight up tell you if he thought your gift was trash. And three, he'd probably have two of them you'd have to go to based on his family situation, or one awkward one where both parents are there and trying to pretend like they get along. And I would fucking read the hell out of that, of like the Al Ghul side and the Wayne side, like trying to
Mhm.
have like a normal birthday party for Damien. I think that's so funny.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. I think Williamson would be okay for that, but I would want Mark Russell to write that.
Oh yeah. And like the only downside with like the current Damien that's written by Williamson is like he's a much more mellow character. Like I
Yeah.
want like Morrison era Damien, like where he is just an asshole, and then you have both of the damn parents doing all that stuff. Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, I agree. Excellent. Well, thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. And also thanks for the extra little checkout Super 7. Now, why would he say that, Casey?
Oh, turns out we have an affiliate program with them. If you go to super7.com/2worldspod, it's same as always, but you just go there, shop away, buy yourself some shirts. They got some Godzilla shirts. They actually have a Dark Horse Godzilla. That's the cover. It's that, but on a shirt. I'm like, that's really cool. I kind of want that myself. And they have plenty of figures. Pretty much, it's like funk. Like I wouldn't say it's Funko Pop levels of like licensing, but it's like close of all the
Hmm.
different random weird things. But it's better than a Funko Pop because it's like you can get cooler figures than just a big head guy.
Right. Right on. All right. News time, baby. I'll start. So we just watched it together right before we started filming, but the Deadpool 3 trailer dropped today. And yeah, I thought it was fine. It was the trailer was what I thought it was gonna be, and I think it'll be an enjoyable time.
Yeah, should be fun. I'm gonna say two things: one positive, one negative, both about Wolverine. Okay, it doesn't matter how hard they try. Every iteration, they cannot do a good looking, comic accurate fucking Wolverine haircut. It just looks bad and silly. The costume looks awesome though. Like that one, like I was like a little worried that it wouldn't translate well. Looks great.
It does look great, and I agree with you. However, I think this is the best that it's ever looked. Live action.
I'd say like
Maybe
X-Men
Logan.
I was gonna say X-Men 1 as far as like trying they went for it. Where like that after I mean it's like yeah he looks silly but at least they're not it's like it's whatever, and then like this one it's like they're just half-assing it where like at least the first time they were like actually trying to be comic like comic accurate, even though like why is that where you drew the line? You put him in a fucking leather jumpsuit right after, like just give us
Yeah,
the yellow costume instead. So I mean, like I could see the first X-Men being a little bit better as far as his hair, but I don't really think anyone's gonna be leaving the theater upset about his hair.
you say that, but
Yeah, that's true.
what was the positive?
Oh, it's the costume. The
Oh, the
costume looks
costume.
amazing.
Gotcha.
It's like I said, I was a little worried that it might not because it's a fucking bright yellow costume. Looks great.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, so I got some Invincible news. I'll start off with both of them. Invincible has been renewed for season 4 and 5. And so that's exciting. I didn't even know that I thought that we were still only on season 2, so I'm behind the times.
Yeah. I have no clue about any of it.
Like I liked the first season. It was pretty solid, but you know, it's just like they took so long between the first and the second season that like my hype had like died down so much, and when I tried to watch it, I'm just like Amazon's making me watch ads too now. Like this is not It's not that good to be,
Yeah.
making me watch ads to watch it. Um, and then, but we're also getting an Invincible AAA game, apparently. And so Robert Kirkman, he's just like, he's got his like two big series with that and, The Walking Dead. And it's just like, yeah, I'm just printing money. This is nice.
Really, I mean, he's got to be what every comic creator strives for.
Yep.
Like, really, apart
It's
from McFarlane, who's been more successful than Kirkman, you know?
Stanley.
Yeah, but Stan had his problems.
Yeah. No, it's like that meme though that I think I've sent it to you like a long time ago, but it was like what it's like the comic book writers, like what my family thinks, what and
Hmm.
it's like one of them is Stanley, like doing that, but it's gonna have to be replaced with Kirkman at this point because he's just fucking killing it, and it's like good on him.
Yeah.
I mean, I might not be his biggest fan, just from a quality standpoint, but I'm not gonna be mad that he's making all that money.
Right.
Now, I do have a dumb question though, since you're video game savvy. Why do they call like big video games AAA?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Let's find out.
See, this is where it'd be nice if you had a Preston button. You could just boop, he like pops up.
I know, right? The term AAA games is just a classification used within the video game industry to signify high budget, high profile games. Um,
So it's like the same as saying like a blockbuster then.
Literally, the next sentence is these games often rank as blockbusters due to their extreme popularity.
Okay, there we go. Would you check out an Invincible game? Because I'm not super hot on that stuff, but if it's like getting good reviews if they did the powers right, I would probably check it out, even though it's gonna be on PS6 or whatever.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what the game's like, the gameplay.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it's kind of like Last Ronin, you know? It's like, yeah, it's neat, but I don't really read. I've read Last Ronin, but I don't really read Turtles in general. I read
Yeah.
even less Invincible, so it's like I don't really care.
See, like for me, the big thing would be like this could be the closest we ever get if it's good. This could be the closest we ever get to a good Superman game,
Mhm.
which is what I would want. And
Okay,
so I
you
mean,
clearly have not played Superman 64, but go
I
on.
actually have. And
I
I
know, it was a
and then I
joke.
here's the fun thing. I even played the Game Boy Color port that was but it was 2D.
Yeah.
Those games were a lot of fun if you could put the cheat codes in. I mean, they still weren't fun, but if you could put the cheat codes in and you'd still have Superman's power, like all of his powers instead of but you'd still lose flying through rings.
Right. Yep, super great game.
Yeah.
But now I get what you mean. And I hope it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of season 5, The Witcher is ending at season 5. So also production for season 4 just started this week too. So I got a video of old Liam Hemsworth in the that first day where everyone comes to the room and they're hanging out and talking and got scripts. We got a little clip of that video, and that here Liam could give us the best performance of his career, and it's not going to be good enough for the fans. They're going to
Yeah.
hate this season with a fiery passion, no matter how great he is.
Yeah.
Um, and I think he will be good, and he'll make a cool Geralt. He's just not the Geralt that we want.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's not surprising that they're ending it at season 5. However, that tells me that A, they're not going to finish the story like the book story, or B, they're going to rush so many plot points because they're leaving out 2 other books that it's just going to be somehow even worse than it's already been. So
Yeah.
my guess is that they'll rush it. They'll try to tell that book story, and it's just going to be a big pile of shit. So
Hmm. I saw a funny thing about Witcher that they casted Yennefer. They were like, yeah, we wanted to cast someone that would challenge people's beauty standards. And it's like so we cast fucking just a smoke show of a lady because we're
Hmm.
being so brave with this.
Yeah. I saw that too. That came out last year.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So I just saw it today, like today, I think.
if I were, I think her name's Anya Charlotta. If I were her, I would have been like, "Fuck you, man!" Like,
Right?
what a shitty thing to say. Because she is in
One of the
no. Go ahead.
she's no, like one of the comments was like, so we casted the most beautiful woman alive. It's like, I mean, she's top 10 probably.
Yeah, she is. She's great. She does a great job. So that's just, yeah, that was so stupid to
Yeah.
read.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to say like, oh, white people only like white people. That's I think what they're like trying to hint at, but it's like, I don't know if that's true, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Netflix. Okay, so I'll talk about this. We're getting a TMT WWE crossover toys. We're getting Cody Rhodes. I need to be more specific as Casey Jones, Roman Reigns as the Shredder, and then Seth Rollins as Leonardo, Rey Mysterio as Raph, Xavier Woods as Donnie, and Kofi Kingston as Michelangelo. Now, how many of these you gonna be buying, Jake? All of them?
Well, zero. But if I'm honest, I don't know Xavier or Kofi.
So, have you ever heard of Up Up Down?
No.
It's like it's a like because Xavier Woods is like he's smart with because he knows like he's not gonna do a lot of like WWE's not gonna push him really hard, so he made his own YouTube show that's about video games, and he was also on the G4 when G4 came back for 5 minutes. He was like big in that. And then Kofi's on his tag team basically,
Wait a
but
second. So I just saw a picture. It's three guys. They're all in like blue
the new
and pink
yeah,
get
they're the
up.
New Day.
I'm pretty sure they had a comic book one shot come out last year or the year before.
Oh, I think they did, yeah.
So I recognized them because I had a couple guys that wanted the comic.
Yeah.
So I guess I have seen them
There
before.
you go. They were really entertaining. Big E was the best. He was like he's the massive one, but he fucking got his neck broke, so he's not wrestling anymore. Like he can actually like move and live a life, which is nice, but yeah, he's like probably never gonna be able to wrestle again, which it's like that.
Man,
Too bad.
yeah, that's awful.
But yeah, it's like
Does that
I'm kind
interest
of
you though, as being the actual wrestling fan and a toy
no,
fan?
not really. Like I remember these type of toys when I was a kid, and I'm just like, I probably would have got them as a kid, but then like, I don't know how these are gonna be able to fight my big Van Vader because it's not the same size. But Vader would still go over because he always won. He was my favorite.
Did they show pictures yet, or was it just
Yeah,
announced?
where what I saw was pictures.
Okay. Did they
And
look cool?
I mean the Cody looks pretty neat because it's like honestly, like the Roman looks stupid because it's like the Shredder's costume without the mask is pretty fucking lame.
Hmm.
Casey Jones looks fucking cool no matter. And then like they gave him the American flag hockey mask, which looks awesome. But like, and I like Cody Rhodes, but I'm like, that's still kind of like the least Casey Jonesy type guy as Casey Jones. Doesn't make much sense. But I might get that for Nick as a laugh because he's not a big Cody fan, but he collects the Casey Jones figures. So I might
Oh,
just be
nice.
like, here you go. Here's your favorite wrestler.
What was uh what was his name during the Arrow years?
Stardust.
Stardust, right? Yeah, all black and gold, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like, isn't he like the champion or something
Yep.
like that? Good for him.
Yep. All it took was him leaving, becoming like huge on the independents and making his own company and then coming back.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Um, all right. News that's exciting for us, and I would say most listeners of this podcast. Saga is returning in July. I hope we get more than 4 issues this time. Now,
Same.
I heard this from one of my helpers earlier today because we were talking about this news. He said that he heard a rumor. He has no idea if it's true or if there's any merit to it at all. But there was a rumor that Brian K. Vaughan said that they were going to try to do, going forward, seasons of 6 issues a year.
Okay. I on the Instagram post that he did mention this is season whatever, and so that might be 100% accurate.
I think if they're going to do 6 issues a year, if it's consistent every other month, it could work.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest, the way that they've handled it since their initial hiatus has killed momentum for the
Oh
book.
yeah. 100%. Like it's one of those things though where the core audience is strong enough that I don't think it matters that much because we all want to know how it ends.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't think he's going to be getting any new members. But the
right.
people that, like I think the core group is going to stay no matter. I hate saying this, but I hope it is like, 2 more seasons at most.
It won't be though.
How many
He
seasons?
he said a long time ago that it's going to be 108 issues.
Oh, okay.
So
I
we're just over the halfway point, man.
Wow.
And if that's the case, it's like fuck, dude. How like we're going to be, 1 foot in the fucking ground by the time this wraps up.
Dude, I already am. So it's gonna be I'm just gonna be like, try to do a make-a-wish thing, be like, Brian,
Good idea.
tell me how it ends.
And please let me be your handler so that I can
Yeah.
just read it early.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, like it's just it turns out it's like fucking Gert from Runaways just having a bad dream. And I'm like, oh fuck you, and I die.
Oh man. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's just on a good enough schedule.
Yeah. So I got a funny story. This will lead into my next news. For his birthday, I had bought my brother a nice house on the lake, like the nice hardcover edition. And then like he was like, "Oh, that's cool." And like a week went by or whatever, I saw him again. He's like, "Oh, dude, I finished it. It's crazy. I didn't know that, it ended on a cliffhanger like that." I'm like, "What? It's supposed to be the whole complete thing." Like, because I never got to finish Nice House because like the way it was coming out just was so terrible that I forgot like 3 times in a row. Then when I saw it again, I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm not gonna pick up the last issue after missing 3.
Hmm.
And so he was like, yeah, it just kind of ended, on a cliffhanger. And so we're getting a nice House on the Lake sequel series that, will probably have another terrible release schedule, but probably gonna be pretty sweet collected.
Yeah. I need to read that eventually. I would flip through it whenever you were getting the issues and
Yeah.
like art's pretty cool. Looks pretty spooky in spots.
Yeah, it was cool. And it was just one of those things where it would be like 3, 4 months if
Hmm.
between issues, and you would forget that you're reading a book called A Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, something I'm very excited for. We're getting a new Werewolf by Night series. They announced it this week. It's going to come out after Blood Hunt. I imagine, Werewolf by Night will be a part of Blood Hunt in some, I would even say major way based on the name.
Hmm.
Um, the series will be rated for mature and it's going to come polybagged. They're calling it one of their red band titles.
Hmm.
Um, Jason Liu is going to write it, and then Sergio Devia is going to be on the art. I'm not super familiar with Liu's writing, uh, but I would read the first issue regardless.
Hmm.
probably read the whole thing regardless. So
Hell, you read a Werewolf by Night book by Taboo that had nothing to do with the Werewolf by Night that you liked.
yeah,
So, I mean, you're not, yes, the kids say you're not fronting.
that's true. That's true. But I think the mature rating is mostly going to be for violence. They said that it's going to be, a lot of action, pretty bloody. So
It's actually just like werewolves fucking the whole time.
nice.
It just starts with like, there's gonna be lots of violence. So if you're a kid that doesn't like violence, put this book down. The next page is like, are they gone? Okay, let's turn this page and get to werewolf fucking. Like
Is
it's weird that they wrote it this way.
I know, presented by Stanley. It's like I
Yeah.
knew it.
Like the Marvel
Uh
way.
is that a book that you would check out?
Probably that would really like I the fact that it's polybagged and all that, extra stuff, I'm like, oh, if it's gonna be like a $5 book, I would not check it out. But
Oh,
like
first issue is for sure gonna be that, at
that's
least.
I mean that's rough for me to get excited about. Do we know for sure if it's gonna be the new Werewolf by Night or the what's his name? The old one. What's his name?
Jack Russell.
Yeah, Jack Russell. Is it gonna be him?
The art made it look like Jack because the new guy had like the long braid because he was a
Oh
Native
yeah.
American, and I
Yeah.
did not see that in the art, but I don't know for sure.
Now here's another question because I think we might disagree on this. What's your opinion on like werewolves looking? Do you think, oh, they need to be like just wolves, like when they have like the wolf snout and they're standing on their hind legs, or do you think it should be like Lon Chaney original Wolfman style where it's like way more humanoid?
I kind of like an in between, if I'm honest. Um,
Way to toe the line.
I know, but it's true. It's
What do you
true.
what do you mean by that?
So like, I don't know. I guess really like Underworld, I guess would be my preference if you've seen those
I
horrible
have.
movies.
I
They're
have, but like I don't quite remember because I remember them mostly like wearing the fucking trench coats of the time. Like the early 2000s trench coats all the time.
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, this isn't like disparaging Twilight, but the way they did werewolves was just the dumbest thing to me, where it's like, they just turn into big wolves.
right. Yeah, no, I'm not
Yeah.
crazy about that. But like, see, they're mostly humanoid, but then they've got
Yeah, that's too much wolf for me.
okay.
See, I that's what I figured you'd prefer would be that type.
Hmm.
I prefer like the old Lon Chaney type way where it's like it's more man than wolf,
Yeah,
but you know,
fair enough. I mean, I'm not really mad one way or the other.
yeah.
I just think they're neat.
I'm gonna say this though, that it came out when we were probably in like early high school. That one had Benicio del Toro in it. I think it was Benicio del Toro. It was the Wolfman movie that came out with. You remember that? Because it was fucking like
Maybe.
it was just like the original one with Lon Chaney had like a cool ending because he gets beaten to death by his dad with the
Oh
silver handle, and then
yeah.
this one it's like him and his dad are both werewolves. Spoiler alert! And he cuts his dad's head off and throws it in the fire. It's like,
Yeah.
golly, that was stupid.
He looked cool though. He looked
Yeah,
really cool.
and his transformation was fucking sweet.
Yeah.
I guess I've not seen it, but American Werewolf in London's supposed to have like the best transformation though.
I know I've seen that, but not since I was a kid.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like like it holds up now, looks amazing still.
Nice.
All right, so we've got a Ma and Pa Kent for Superman Legacy. It's Pruitt Taylor and Neva Howell. I looked up their IMDb's. I don't know either of them. It's like I think they're gonna be fine. More than likely, I have a feeling since this isn't like an origin story, you're not gonna be getting like hardcore acting out of either of them. It's probably gonna be like, oh, I've made a pie. Your dad's out working, and then he's like, oh, hey, son. He might say something like kind of inspirational, but it probably won't be much at all. And it's like, since I don't think he's probably not gonna kill Pa Kent off in the first movie either.
I
So
hope not.
yeah, so it's
Getting
like,
tired of that.
yeah, so it's like, I don't think we're gonna need like these crazy good actors and actresses. Like, they'll probably be fine, and that's all we really need. So,
Agreed.
but if you guys have seen them act in anything before, and you're excited about this, let us know. Maybe they're gonna be fucking bringing the big guns. We're just too ignorant to know.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be Kevin Costner levels of Pa Kent.
Maybe. Man, that was like such a fucking letdown of a Pa Kent. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still just mad at the way they killed him. Just the dumbest shit in the world.
Like, all of the Pa Kent scenes, I was so disappointed with, though, when he's like, "What should I have done, Pa? Let them drown?" He's like, "There's an idea, son. Maybe you could have just forced them all to drown. You're really strong. You could have held them underwater for a good while, right?"
It's like, holy shit,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Like, no. What you should have done is called me, you and me. I would have got my shotgun. You would just be killing them, and I'd be shooting them, and then we would hide the bodies. And they're like, "This is not very Pa Kent of you." It's like, I don't want you little freak, to be getting this stuff to be getting out about you.
Well, anyway, so what'd you read this week,
Yeah.
man?
I read Giant Size Hulk #1, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance #2, Green Lantern War Journal #8, Cobra Commander issue 4, Jay Garrick's The Flash issue 6, Dudley Datson and the Forever Machine issue 1, Superman issue 13. That was the last one.
Okay.
What about you, though?
It was a very small week for you, boy. I read Superman 13, Jay Garrick Flash #6, Nightwing #113, and Roxxon Presents Thor #1.
Okay, man. Well, you should have checked out I'm gonna say this, the Giant Size Hulk. It's by Philip Kennedy Johnson. The main, like the big main story. There's a Peter David story.
Here's the thing and why I didn't. I hated the Brian Hitch cover, and it made me not even want to pick it up.
I gotcha. And then you didn't? Did you say you read this?
No, I didn't. Because I sold out of the
Nice.
2 before that, and I was like, I can't just jump
Yeah,
back in here.
fair enough. I'm not gonna lie, even though you're not getting to read it because it's selling out. It's like, I like that a fucking Jon Stewart book is selling out. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think so. I think it is too. And I wish I were reading it
Yeah.
because I liked it before I stopped.
Alrighty, so Cobra Commander issue 4 by Josh Williamson and Andrea Milana on the art. Like the art. There's a double cross in this. Pretty solid. Like, it doesn't feel like it goes as long because it kind of ends with like this much of just advertisements for other books, which is always annoying. But the art's really good. The story's good. We're gonna see Destro in the next issue, it looks like, which always like that. Yeah, other than it just feeling light, it was a good book, so I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10.
You gonna read the Destro mini when it comes out?
Yeah, I mean, like, for the most part, I'll probably read all of the G.I. Joe minis. Like, probably, unless it's like, I don't know, because they got kind of weird with some of the characters. So it's like fucking double jointed. And it's just the guy that's like, "Oh, I'm double jointed." Like, I'm not reading his book.
Until they're like, it's Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm reading old double jointed. One of the best episodes of Community is the G.I. Joe episode. So
I
funny.
agree.
All right, so Giant Size Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Andrea Bracalo on the art. So, like, the one plus side is like, you're not missing much as far as like plot wise. So here's a picture so you can kind of see like an action shot of the art. better than what we were getting.
Yeah.
But I will say the Hulk transformation does not feel the same as like how it has in all of the other Philip Kennedy Johnson books, because normally they're like way more gross. And this one's just like a normal Hulk transformation, which was kind of a letdown because I think it'd been kind of neat to see him like, basically ripping his way out of Bruce's skin like he has been. But
It
yeah,
could it could have been artist choice too.
yeah, which I think is what it was. It was just like, oh yeah, Hulk transforms, and then this artist did it this way. But Hulk's on a train. There's some like kids on there, and Bruce is very upset because it takes place right after the last issue where he's got the doll of the girl, and she's not talking to him. It's not talking to him anymore, and he's like this weirdo. And then this demon that's like, hey, everyone's got to pay to ride. Everyone's got the toll to ride the train, and they end up fighting because he's wanting the little girl's soul. And then the kids that are on the train, like they made like a really big point in the beginning of the issue about these like kids that were also riding the train, and then it's just like, we're not gonna even talk about them anymore. It's not a big deal. I don't know if they're gonna pop back up for some reason, but it doesn't seem like it. Which is like, man, he gave a lot of info, like a big info dump on the one girl that was, in this group, and then it's just like, nope, nothing.
So like, do I need to read this
I
to?
don't I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just kind of like, oh yeah, he's got he's got his girl statue, and he's riding he's back to riding the train. That's how it ends. So I think it's just going to be kind of like a one over. But then we get a backup story where basically I've not read enough of like the older Peter David run, but there's a like this super powered car that is gonna try to keep the Hulk from getting to Betty, basically. And Betty's like, I'm gonna be a nun, and then she's like, she's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And the head sister's like, why? And she's like, well, that's because that's none of your business. And then she runs to the train station, and
I
Hulk
just wanted
fight.
to make this nun joke.
I did. And so Hulk fights the car, and then he ends up, getting to the train just as it's leaving, and Betty was on the train. He's crying. But guess what? She's standing on the railroad on the railroad tracks, and she's like,
The tracks.
yeah, no, 100%, just on the tracks. They're both like, because this is what's so it's like kind of funny because it's so melodramatic. Because he takes off after the train,
I
and
like the
so
art, by the way.
yeah, it's good art, but he like takes off. We don't know how far he goes, but he's now in the middle of nowhere. He's no longer at the station.
Yeah.
And so then she's in high heels, standing there, just like, because she let the train go. And so then she's like, Bruce, and then they kiss. And it's like, yeah, that's
Is it
nice
a?
and huh?
Sorry, I was just gonna ask if that was like a facsimile.
Yeah, it's like they're just like, oh, here's Peter Davis story to go along with it.
Okay,
Yeah. And it's like one of the old ones from his run, one of
gotcha.
his runs. So yeah, it was just like kind of silly on the ending part, in my opinion. Because like it even shows here, clearly Bruce had ran a long ways. How did Betty get there so quick in her high heels? Is she the girl from Jurassic World? But no, this is good. I'm a Hulk fan, so like
Yeah,
that helps. But no, I think you'd enjoy it too. Like you can't really go wrong with Peter David Hulk, even if he is fighting a car. So I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10.
nice. I'll do one.
All right, buddy.
Roxxon presents Thor #1 by Al Ewing and Greg Land. So this whole book is written like big corporation wrote something like they think the kids want to read.
Yeah,
So the whole issue is satire, and I think Al Ewing killed it. It's
good.
really funny. It's like, yeah, this is exactly how Roxxon would write Thor if they owned him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me try to find. Okay. So Thor's flying and he's like, I'm tired of flying. I need to get to my vehicle. And then he hears, gasp, Roxxon presents Thor, as if like that's his whole title.
Yeah.
And it's this gal, and he's like, here, let me give you a ride in the, in the Thor mobile. And he's like trying to swipe his fingerprint on Mjolnir. And he can't, it's not working. And then it finally does on the third one. He's like, success. And now the hammer sends a one-time 20-digit code to my smart bracer. Now all I gotta do is open my Roxbook account, enter my PIN, agree to the terms and conditions, confirmation, and chink, all thanks to Roxxon's middleman TM interface. And it's just like, it's stuff like that throughout. And
Yeah.
while it is constant, it's like different each time, just making fun of, like metaverse essentially and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I thought it was really funny. Like I'm
Nice.
chuckling the whole time. Um,
See, it's hilarious that he did that with this book where it's like it's supposed to be like, oh, constant throughout. Because with like the gamma flight, the one thing that he did throughout was anytime someone talked to the trans character is like, do you know that I'm trans? It's like, yes, I'm sure there's more to your character than that. And they're like, I was born a man, but now I am a woman. And it's like, come on.
I mean, maybe he's just grown as a writer since then.
I mean, maybe. I think it was like also personally, I know I'm fucking messing you up on, but I think a big part of it was he was, I'm gonna say, probably too worried of that people would get mad that he wrote her in any way that, could be deemed bad. So it's like, well, I'm just gonna keep saying this because I don't know what else to do. And then like the Twitter crowd loved it. So, like it's like, okay, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. John Lees wrote his trans character way better because, just made it a badass, cool character.
Right. Yeah. Um, okay, this is the other funny part that I wanted to tell you about. So Thor is riding his Thormobile up to a crowd of like protesters. And it's like, young people, what mean you keeping the God of Thunder from his parking spot? Like, boo, cram it, Thor, lousy sellout, and they throw a banana peel at his windshield. And he's like, the glass is bulletproof in case of urban threat, as is standard, but my feelings are not. Thus, I must summon the storm, as easy as I might summon a delicious triple beef Roxburger via Roxxon Grub to Go. And then a storm comes down and scares all the protesters away. But yeah, anyway, the whole book is just super goofy, and it ends with Thor in the regular universe reading this comic, and he's like, I'm not like this at all. And anyway, the Minotaur is trying to, I don't know, use Thor's mom to like get to him or something like that. I'm not gonna read, flip through every page here to give you the rundown, but it's good. Essentially, I think Enchantress and Dario are using some kind of augmented reality that they're trying to sway the people with. So we'll see if that's the case in the next issue. But I liked it a lot. It was super funny. There's also a fake ad in the back for Roxxon microtransaction wars, and they claim that the issue is going to be $8.25, and it's like, fuck, we're not that far off from those prices.
No,
But yeah, it was good. Like, here's the thing. Is it as good of a story as Superman 13? No. But I didn't know what to expect out of this, and I thought it was fucking great. So
nice.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10, and it's my pick of the week.
Nice, dude. All right, so Ghost Rider Final Vengeance issue 2 by Benjamin Percy and Danny Kim on the art. So last time we got our new Ghost Rider. It's the Hood. I don't think I spoiled it last time, so I'm going to talk about it now. It's the Hood's going around Chicago, you know, being a dick, basically. Mephisto's like, hey, yeah, this is what you wanted. And he's like, I'm gonna go after the crime lords of Chicago and take over this city. But it's like, buddy, one of the crime lords of Chicago is our governor. Wazing! But but yeah, so he does that and then he goes to the like basically Chicago's vampire group and makes a deal with them. And it kind of ends like we find out what's going on with old Johnny Blaze because he didn't have the best luck in that first issue. So yeah, it's fun. It's just a fun time. It's neat for me personally with the Hood because like when I started reading comics, like heavy, I'll say, like I got really kind of like into like back into comics probably like like late middle school, early high school, like in that time. That's when I was getting like a bunch of different subscriptions. Like every year for my birthday, I was like, oh, I want a subscription to this, all that type of stuff.
And
And
when you were subtly like, "Hey Jake, check this out. It's just sitting
well,
on
it
my coffee
was
table. Check it
well, it
out."
was like that would have been later. Like so like the like 2 years later was when I was like, I need someone else to get addicted to this shit with me. I gotta bring someone in. Uh but yeah, so like the Hood was a big part in that time. And so like and then he just kind of went away because he's kind of lame, but like now that he's being brought back in kind of a cool way, it's neat. And it's like with him being Ghost Rider, I'm like, I know that's not gonna fucking last. So it's like he's not gonna stay Ghost Rider forever. So it's gonna be more cool when Johnny takes over again, or whoever takes over after. So yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna say 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about this next. Dudley Datson and the Forever Machine by Scott Snyder and Jamal Eagle on the art.
Good creative team.
Yeah, I just didn't really care that much. Like, I read the whole thing and I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but boy, I just don't give a shit at all. Like, it didn't help that like the main character there's like two main characters. One's the kid, like the kid that's this inventor. He's trying to, like I'm invested in his life. Like he got a dad that's sick. He's trying to take care of him, but he's also like trying to, he also likes inventing and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he goes like he like one day he goes like to work on his stuff. He hears some noise and his fucking teacher is like in this mech and she's like, oh, you gotta get out of here. She puts a watch on his hand and then that's when you find out that the person that's narrating this whole thing was her dickhead, not a corgi, but it's like the same family as a corgi, but they got tails. You know what I'm talking about?
So like a Shiba.
Not a Shiba, but because it's still a corgi, but got the big
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's Welsh Pembroke, which is the tailless, and then it's oh my gosh, I just had it. It was right there. Cardigan?
oh,
Cardigan
okay.
Corgi?
Okay. So, it's one of those and he's just a little asshole, which is like, fits with a corgi's personality.
That's true.
But and then like, the different world building stuff's pretty neat. But I just like I said, the corgi character I was not a fan of. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was fine. It's a nice meaty book for like 4.99. If I like book like this for Marvel would be probably like an $8 book. So like that's cool.
And
I
most of it
just
would be ads.
yeah, and so it's like I wanted to like it more than I did though, because I was just kind of like just like, oh, I'm just gonna read it because I bought it. I'm not, not really enjoying it that much.
Yeah.
So, I'm probably gonna have a 5 out of 10, and I probably won't pick up the next one. Sorry, bud.
Hey, now I know not to order it.
Yeah. Um, Green Lantern War Journal, issue 8 by Philip Kennedy Johnson. and Montos on the art. So it's kind of funny. The one Green Lantern from the alternate timeline is going to Guy Gardner's house to figure out how to help out John. And he like Guy's got like ring proximity alarms set up because he's not there. And they interrogate him with like a bunch of different stuff. And then he's like basically the guy name drops John and that John's missing. And he's like, oh, John's my boy, so I gotta help, I gotta help this weirdo out. And so, and then it cuts to John at the Dark Star stuff, and he's fighting, helping fight off, everything, and a bunch of little things are going on with the mom and daughter. And yeah, it's good. And then like it's just a good solid story. I don't know, like it's kind of like what you expect from a Philip Kenny Johnson Green Lantern War Journal book.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope someday you can get caught back up on it and be reading it too, because it's enjoyable. Yeah, like I'll probably say 8 out of 10.
Nice. Okay, Nightwing 113 Legacy number 300. Something that pissed me off about the covers. So this is the A cover, which is whatever. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The 1 in 25 is a virgin cover of this. It's like, give me a fucking break. You couldn't have had somebody draw up something for the
Yeah.
1 in 25. That always bugs me. Anyway, it's by Tom Taylor and come on, where is it? It's by Tom Taylor, also co-written by Marv Wolfman on the last couple pages, and then Danielle Di Niccolo with Bruno Redondo in the last couple of pages. So yeah, it was cool. Dick is gonna have like this big night where he gets the key to the city for all the help that he's done. And Tim and Damien and Barbara show up, and Dick surprises Barbara by like also putting all these events in her name too, since she's been just as a part of this entire Tom Taylor run as Nightwing has. So he and Barbara accept the key to the city, and then afterwards he invites everybody to pizza at Marv and George's Pizza. And that's when Bruno Redondo comes in, and we get Marv talking to Dick. And that's essentially just Marv Wolfman himself, telling us how
Mm-hmm.
much Dick Grayson means to him, which was really cool. Also, you can see in this one panel, there's our
I
man.
actually saw this on Instagram. I'm like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we got a little picture of George Perez there, and Marv is like, basically George would have felt this way about you too, which was really sweet. But essentially, this whole final arc, I think, is finally going to be about Heart Stealer or whatever his name is, because he's been in the series all throughout, and Dick hasn't really had a run-in with him yet. So I think it's all been building to this. And then we get a silent backup by Michael Conrad and Howard Porter. I like both of those guys. It looked great, but really, I mean, it's a silent backup story. There's really not much to write home about. It's Dick stopping a bomb on a train. It's like, we need 3 pages of a backup. Give us anything.
Yeah.
So, but as far as Nightwing goes, pretty good book. Um, Probably gonna give it an 8. It's one of Tommy T's best Nightwing issues.
Nice. Now, I have a dumb question. There's actually one dumb and one genuine, but with the backup issues, like, are you paying, like, does that book, like, upcharge since it's got the backup issues like some of these other books do. Because that's kind of real shitty if it's not doing anything that's like, because at least with Green Lantern, I'm just using that as an example, they have those backup stories, and it's like, oh yeah, this will be play a part in the main series or in this sort, whatever, this type of stuff. If it's just like, here's this random Dick Grayson story and you're paying extra for two stories, that's fucking shit.
I don't know the answer to your question because it's a legacy number 300. So it's a $5 issue
Oh,
anyways,
I gotcha.
which makes sense. They
Yeah,
always do that.
yeah,
Um, However, if a book is doing the milestone thing and they have a backup, I would have thought this was going to be a $6 book, but it
yeah.
wasn't.
Okay,
So I don't know that they charged us extra for that. Um, so I'm not too upset about it.
yeah. And then my other thing is like with Tommy T's, like he's probably the that I can think like first writer that I can think of with Nightwing from what you're talking is like where Nightwing's like not just doing well, but like fucking thriving. Like just everything's like turning up Nightwing. Like, do you like that for Nightwing, or do you kind of want some like Parker luck? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean my favorite Nightwing is Parker Luck Nightwing. However, it's nice to see your favorite character be happy for a little
Yeah,
bit, you know?
yeah,
Um, I guess we'll see how it ends. I've heard some rumors about what's going to happen to Nightwing by the end of this, and we'll see. But it is nice just to let him enjoy the moment for a little bit.
yeah. I gotcha. I just got our Muchi or our two Muchis left.
Same.
All
Let's
right.
end let's end on Superman.
That's what I was gonna say too, because I liked it too. But Jay Garrick, The Flash, issue 6 by Jeremy Adams and Diego Oloro Takeaway on the art. And dude, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I loved it, but I really enjoyed it. The art's good and the story is enjoyable too. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was good. Art was pretty solid. Um, and it's nice to see Jay pop off a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you forget because it's like Jay's probably the slowest speedster, like outside of, like some of the kids and maybe Max Mercury. But it's like, oh yeah, it's still a Flash just pissed off that you stole his daughter. You're gonna see like levels of power that you don't see very often, and you really don't. Like there's a part when giant robot sharks attack him, and like all you don't see Jay fighting them, but he just comes out and he just hands the bad guy the shark's teeth. Like it's so fucking
Yeah.
badass and cool.
I mean that's one of the best looking pages anyways.
Yeah.
But then
This the one right after?
the one right after where Jay is yoked to the
Yeah.
gills.
So awesome.
So yeah. Like I think it wrapped up well enough. I I gotta say it, this is probably the weakest of the three Golden Age boys for me. So like a part of me is kind of glad that it's done at 6, where like I wanted more out of Wesley, and we'll see how uh Alan wraps up. But I'm like, this was a good story. I think it's told what it's needed to tell. I'm glad that it's over.
See, like this to me, I disagree. This is my favorite of the three.
Oh, I
Eh,
think you're insane for that.
No, this is 100% my favorite of the three. And then yet I'm also just a Flash boy, as you know. But it's like I think it does a good job of setting stuff up for that new book that we're getting to.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, it's just I'm excited and I was just like I love me some Jay Garrick.
I'm gonna give it an 8, I think.
I'm leaning towards an 8.5, almost a 9. I really, really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely keep the trade in, and if anyone's looking for a recommendation, I'll happily tell them to check it out. It's as solid as a 6 issue series can get.
Yeah. Well, so you're probably, I'm just gonna assume probably a 7 then for you for the whole series.
I'll
If
go
you're going
seven
solid.
five.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like I said, 8.5, probably 9 for this. Like I said, I really liked it. We don't get Jay Garrick very often, so it's just
Hmm.
nice.
All right, and then our final issue is Superman 13 by Joshua Williamson and Rafa Sandoval. And I thought this was a pretty great time.
Yep,
Art is just killer. Like Sandoval's a really fucking good artist.
he is.
Um, but yeah, it's a big old Superman Lobo kind of team up book for a lot of it.
I
And
think
then
it's
we
I just want to say this part right here. There are, Lobo's on his bike and Superman's on his thing. It kind of looks like a fucking lawnmower to me, like a ride-on lawnmower.
yeah, no, I get that. I get that for sure. And also it's like, wouldn't Superman just be flying?
Yeah. The
Um,
one thing is like you can't factor in how much how because like Brainiac even said I'm far away from the yellow sun. So when you space travel Superman, you never know how he needs a ship.
yeah, that's true. Um, but yeah, then we get some the other half of the book is Lex and Brainiac. You know, Lex pulls the old leave my daughter out of this and I'll give you Superman. I don't think he will personally. I think, Lex is gonna dupe Brainiac, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean he very well might, and even if he doesn't, like here's the thing. This is like legit the truth with I think the way Josh Williamson writes Superman is even if Lex does this to save his daughter, Superman would probably be like, "You're growing, dude. Like you normally would just team up with Brainiac to try to kill me. This time you tried to save somebody. I I
I
respect
forgive you.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I I can't blame you. That's your
Hmm.
daughter."
Yep, I agree completely. So yeah, it's just really enjoyable. Also, Casey, I don't know if you got them yet, but I sent you action from last week just so that you could read part one and have it.
Okay. Like
Um,
my box came in today, surprisingly enough, so I'll open that. I haven't opened it up yet, but
okay,
so yeah.
yeah. I mean, you kind of get the gist of what's happening, but I still thought it was a good issue and that you
Yeah.
might want to read it. So, but yeah, I like this, man. I mean, it was it if it weren't for Thor, this would have been my pick of the week. I'm at a 9.
I'm gonna probably just be at a 10. Like there's nothing about it that I disliked. So yeah, it's great. Pick of my pick of the week. But what are you excited for in the coming day?
Mhm.
Ready?
A lot of shit out this week. Not necessarily for me, but just in general, a very
Yeah.
large list. I'm going to go Dawn Runner 2 because I love the first issue. I'm also going to pick Green Arrow 11. And sorry if you were picking this, man, but Universal Monsters, Creature of the Black Lagoon, #1.
Yeah. That's one of those books that like spoiler alert to Nick. I mean, I already told him, but he's getting already be getting that unless it's like the most dog shit book I've ever read.
It won't be, though, because it's
With
Ram V and Dan Waters.
yeah. But Six Fingers for me, for sure, surprising no one. It's probably one of my favorite books out right now. I'll go Wolverine. We'll see what's going on with the Sabretooth War. And then let's say Daredevil.
Nice.
Okay, so last week you were talking about DC Absolute, and I'm just like, tell me some things you want to see. And like with that, it could be just character related or like how they do different stories, whatever. Just tell me like what your preference is for this, basically Ultimate Universe DC.
Yeah. So not to be lame, but I am going to say Batman because I want something like so totally different than what we normally get. If it's truly going to be like an Ultimates line, they can go a totally different direction with them, and I think that would be nice to see. I'm also going to say Blackhawks. I know that's weird and probably not going to happen, but like That's just a group of characters that I always thought was pretty neat that they don't really do anything with, so I feel like this could
Yeah.
be a good resurgence for them.
Now, did you check out the New 52 Blackhawks series? That was like 5 issue. Well, they're like ones that they're like, oh, we're testing the waters with this, and then it just
Yeah,
didn't work.
yeah. I tried one issue of it, and much like the rest of the New 52, it was we're fucking badasses.
Yeah.
It's like, God, this is like the 90s all over again. Um, I'm also gonna say Green Lantern because I haven't read a lot of Green Lantern, and it would be kind of nice to like, I don't know, get in on the ground floor with a Green Lantern book, and who knows what kind of direction they could go with the Green Lantern Corps. So could be fun. And then also, I'm just gonna say Justice League Dark. It would just be cool to have a magic book of some sort from DC to read.
Yeah.
Um, I know Zatanna's coming out, but like I miss JLD and it would be nice to read it.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna say no Robins, at least for like a good chunk of the beginning, because like New 52 was like, oh, we're restarting everything. It's like, oh, so we're not gonna have, like we're gonna have a young Batman. Like, yeah. So no Robins? No, no, no. He's gonna have every single Robin he's ever had. It's like, so I think this would be nice if like we actually do get a young Batman starting out. However you want to do it, keep it the same. I don't care, but just have, an actual starting point without any Robins, without, you get to see his growing pains in this universe. I think that'd be great. I don't want to jump into being like, oh yeah, I've been Batman for 50 years and I'm a billionaire. This is awesome. I'm great,
Hmm.
Um, and then I actually had Green Lantern in my mind list too, because mostly just because it's like it's kind of similar. And I'm gonna lump Flash into this, where it's like, yeah, I love these extra Green Lanterns and I love these extra Flashes. I don't want them in this universe. I want one Flash. I don't care what you make this Flash, just make them awesome.
I
Can
hope it's
be,
like Max Mercury though.
yeah, I
Just like
mean,
the one that we never get.
yeah, it's just like just give me a Flash, make them cool. That's all I need.
Hmm.
And then give me a Green Lantern, make them cool. I don't care if you just go like I'm doing a brand new Green Lantern. It's actually just a fucking tree and it's got a ring on. I was like, whatever, as long as it's cool, you
Yeah.
know? Um, and then I want, I'm trying to think of something else that would just be like kind of nice. Like, 'cause that's my biggest thing is I just want like streamlined because it's like, yeah, there's years of shit that I already know. And it's like, if I'm getting new, I want actually new. Like, that's my biggest thing. Um, so I'm gonna say like less heroes even. Like, I mean, I want origin stories so we can see that stuff all over again, but like, just less of these heroes, more villains, but less heroes because it's like we don't need like a new, this new writer be like, oh, I've written this new character that I'm gonna be the only person that's using because I want it to pop up in a movie where I can make money on it. And then I'll say Wonder Woman related stuff. Again, she's another one. Get rid of all of her side characters, like all of the
Hmm.
the extra wonders out there. But, you know, give her like a proper backstory. Hawkman is another one. Streamline his shit.
Hmm.
Like you can do whatever you want with them, but just fucking get rid of all of the mud that's with those characters.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do, go ahead. Because it's all fresh, but just get rid of all the bullshit.
I like it. And I agree.
Let us know what you guys would want to see. That would make you pick it up.
Yeah.
You're like, more bullshit, please. Give me
More
all of the Robin.
Robins.
Everyone gets a Robin.
All right, guys. Well, that does bring us to the end of the episode. So, if you would, head on over to facebook.com/Two Worlds Podcast and give the page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at two_worlds_PC and on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod. you can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, head on over to the YouTube. That's youtube.com/YouTube/YouTube. Just kidding. We're Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube, and I am tired.
And leave us a comment down below. Are you tired? What's your sleepy time, process? Like Jake, I know he loves some sleepy time herbal tea, around bedtime.
Yep.
Now here's a question. Do you brush your teeth after the herbal tea, or do you think it's like I don't need to because it's just herbal tea?
It depends on how sleepy I get.
Yeah. Because like if you brush your teeth before, because this is like one of my problems with this is one of my problems with brushing my teeth. If I'm like really tired and like I get out of bed, I brush my teeth, take my contacts out, and I'm like, fuck, I'm awake for 4 more hours now.
I usually like to brush my teeth last,
Yeah,
but
normally I do too.
if I'm snuggled in bed and I drink my little cup of tea and I'm enthralled in my book, I'm not getting back up.
Yeah, you just go, honey, will you brush my teeth for me?
While I hold open a book in front of my face. Yeah. All right, guys. We would love to stay and chat, but we have to team up for the summer's biggest blockbuster. So we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.